What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen ifşa oldun.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum. Hi, this is Edip, 22nd of October 2020. Her name is Yasmin Mogahed, a Muslim scholar based in the US. She is a specialist in spirituality, psychology, and personal development. She completed her Bachelor of Science in Psychology at the University of Wisconsin, Madison. She also completed a master's degree in journalism and mass communications from the same university. He is a good speaker. She's talking about connection with God to the audience. When I listened, I see major problem. She's not aware of that problem, unfortunately. Evangelist Christians, priests, Catholic pastors, and are they called pastors or bishops, and Sunni imams, Shiite akhunds, ayatollah, they all talk about God, sometimes with passion, more passionate than they are, like Turkish clergyman Fethullah Gülen crying while telling about Muhammad, about God. But you find out that they are not really, they have nothing to do about God. It is mostly about following their ancestors' religion blindly. It's conformity with the environment, justification of why they conform to that particular religion and particular sect, which is all geographical. But the truth is not geographical. The truth, divine truth, or universal truth. Somehow they end up justifying their inherited religions, which full of lies and contradictions, holy lies in the name of God and their idols. Now let's listen to this lady few words, and I will not show you much of her talk because I don't want to get a copyright claim, and I don't want to get my channel get penalized. Therefore, I will show you just short as a fair use in order to avoid copyright. Okay.
And I'm going to say this, and I know this from experience. What I speak about, I know from experience, that it is not enough. And there are many examples, namely even in our tradition, we know, for example, great people, Zayd and Zainab, they were both amazing character, they both amazing, had amazing.
Oh.
That yes, there's going to be weather. Yes.
I changed the. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. It went to another speech. I need to find here. Okay.
The big bad wolf's going to blow, but it can't destroy us if we have solid roots. Now, how do we make those solid roots? How do we make those solid roots? You and I, again, this is work we have to do individually and collectively. But we have to go back to our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's book, and Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sunnah. We have to go back to understanding these things and building this relationship, because Allah...
That's it. You messed up everything, sister. You may watch it from here, the whole things, if you are curious about. And here it is. Okay. She messed up. She talks about Allah subhanahu and the Sunnah of the Messenger. Sunnah. Sunnah is the teaching of devil. The teaching of devil has nothing to do with the teaching of Prophet Muhammad. Sunnah in code according to Sunni religion, Sunnah is, and Hadith, basically, Sunnah is another way of Hadith. It includes Sahih. Supposedly it is the deeds of Prophet Muhammad. Well, do they have video clips of Prophet Muhammad? No. It comes, I heard from Ibn Filan and Abu Filan from that, and a chain narrators, and then goes back supposedly to Prophet Muhammad, hearsay. We know that Bukhari, the Sunnis' favorite book besides the Quran, which they prefer to the Quran, they say secondary, but in reality they prefer to the Quran. When I say it, I'm not just saying, I am ready to prove it. I have proven it numerous times. And it was fabricated 230 years after Prophet Muhammad. 230 years. And therefore the sister talks about God and trusting God and turning back to God. It is all, first of all, doesn't say God as if God is an Arab God. She's talking in English, but uses the word God, the Arabic of the word God. Well, God, God is not an Arab. Allah is a word used for the creator of the universe by Arabic-speaking people. And other languages, they could say Jehovah, or God, or Khuda, or Tanrı, God. All these are human-made tags to refer to the creator of the universe. God is not Alif, Lam, Lam, Ha, or a vibration from your mouth, or an Arabic word made up by Arabs. This is absolutely lack of understanding, appreciation of God. وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدَرِهِ, the Quran says. They did not appreciate God as he should be appreciated. They think God is an Arab, has an Arabic name like this, few lines on the paper, or some vibration in the air in Arabic. No. God sent messengers to their people, to all people, nations, in their own language. Okay? And therefore other people, they do not call it Allah. English speaking people, they call it God. When you speak it, don't make it an Arab God because you are speaking English. Okay? But the problem, major problem, is in the word of Sunnah. I will not make it longer. Ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasulah. Obey God and obey messenger. Messenger's mission is only to deliver the Quran, the Quran says. وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. There is nothing, no mission of the messenger except al-balagh, delivering the message. He's a postman. Of course, he received the message also. He's responsible of the message. Also, while he is alive, if he's elected as a leader, he will have a role as a function as a leader, consulting them, elected leader, consult them, make decision, listen to parties, make decision live among them. That is all human leaders do. Or as a husband deal with the wife. That is, or a friend deal with other friends. But as a messenger, his role is limited in the Quran with double negation. وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. There is nothing as a responsibility of the messenger except balagh. And in fact, the Quran says it in chapter 25, verse 30. وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ, oh no, I'm sorry. In chapter 6, verse 19 says, قُلْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ لِأُنذِرَكُمْ بِهِ وَمَنْ بَلَغَ. Say, this book, the Quran, is revealed to me. This Quran is revealed to me in order to convey to you and others, those who receive it. That's it. To warn you with, to warn you with, لِأُنذِرَكُمْ بِهِ, to warn with the Quran, وَمَنْ بَلَغَ, and those who receive. That's it. His mission is. He's giving the Quran. And in the day of judgment, the only complaint, or take it intercession in quote, of the messenger will be, "Oh my Lord, my people have deserted the Quran." Chapter 25, verse 30. وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّي إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. Now, what she said, Sunnah, let's listen one more time because we don't want to miss it again. Okay, here it is.
Have to be the solid oak that has firm roots, that yes, there's going to be weather, yes, the big bad wolf's going to blow, but it can't destroy us if we have solid roots. Now, how do we make those solid roots? How do we make those solid roots? You and I, again, this is work we have to do individually and collectively, but we have to go back to our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's book, and Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam sunnah. We have to go back to understanding these things and build.
Oh, that's interesting. Another thing she said, major problem.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's book, and Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam sunnah. We have to go.
Okay. Now, this is called tasniyah, duality, God plus his messenger. No wonder Europeans, they call them Muhammadans, they worship Muhammad because they do not accept him as the only messenger of God, as the messenger of God who delivered the message, the Quran. Obey God and his messenger means obey God and the messenger, what is it? What he brought, the message. And when he dies, of course, he's no more a leader also to listen to his judgment and follow his command in public affairs if he's an elected leader. He's not. He's not. As a leader, Muhammad is dead. As a husband, he's dead. As a friend, he's dead. As a Nabi, as a prophet, he's dead. Only his message, Risalat, Rasul, Risalat, which is the message of the Quran, is alive and protected by God. Now, the word Sunnah is basically besides God. They say God means Quran. Messenger means Sunnah. They separate God from the messenger. Ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul. They say God is the Quran. Messenger is the Sunnah, which is found in Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmizi, in many books, more than 6 books. And in the books also jurisprudence, sectarian jurisprudence. And Shiites have different, of course, they have also their own sects. It's a different religion. And Sunni is a different religion, has its own sects, subsects. And according to them, Quran and this, they basically separate messenger from being the messenger of God. They represent God with the Quran, but in fact, messengers should be represented by the Quran. The Quran warns Muhammad, say, follow this book. We're in chapter 5. Chapter is known as Ma'idah. Says, follow this book, follow this the book. If you deviate from this book, they want you to deviate it. If you deviate from this book, we'll penalize you. Let me give you some verse numbers here. أفغير الله أبتغي حكما وهو الذي أنزل إليكم الكتاب مفصلا والذين آتينهم الكتاب يعلمون أنه منزل من ربك بالحق فلا تكونن من الممترين وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا. Chapter 6, 114, 15 and 16. Very interesting, read them. And the book is complete, says, and mufassal, detailed, the Quran. They claim that it is not. And the word Sunnah, in fact, she is using in contradiction to the Quran, of course, to the messenger, Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad never used the word Sunnah the way they are using. Because Prophet Muhammad did not disbelieve, reject the Quran. He followed the Quran. According to the Quran, he was guided through the Quran. وَمَا كُنْتَ تَدْرِي مَا الْكِتَابُ وَمَا الْإِيمَانِ. You didn't know what is the book, what is faith, what is trust in God. And the following verse. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. God found you misled, lost, misguided, and فَهَدَى, and guided you. And therefore, Prophet Muhammad believed in the Quran, and the Quran uses the word Sunnah always without exception for God. Sunnatullah, 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 sunnatullah. وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا. You cannot find in God's law any change. وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَحْوِيلًا. Therefore, the word sunnah, according to the Quran, never used for Sunnatul Muhammad. It is God's law that works in societies regarding sending messengers and how societies reject the message of reason, the message of science, the message of peace, the message of justice and unity of humanity, the message of progress. When they deny this message, when they, instead of using their reason, they follow narrations, stupid stories from Ibn Falan from Abu Falan, and when they become misogynistic, instead of knowing that every human being is equal, we are equal as human beings. No one is superior based on race or sex, chapter 49, verse 13. And therefore, the Sunnatullah, when the communities, when they disobeyed God's law, when they transgressed, when start having corruption, when oppress minorities because based on race or based on their sex, when they lie, when they start hoarding wealth, the few got wealth and the other people got poor and needy, and this society are penalized by God. When they start worshiping each other, hero worship, they are manipulated by those heroes, misled and exploited. And therefore Sunnatullah is the God's law that works in societies. The social laws, rules. Sunnatullah, God's law, doesn't change. And now the so-called 57 Muslim countries, they have nothing to do with Islam. They are the enemies of Islam, peacemaking. They have nothing to do with monotheism. They are polytheists. They worship God plus God Muhammad plus Abu Bakr, Omar, Usman, Ali, Hassan, Hussein, or there are other Imam Azam, Imam Shafi'i, Bukhari, Tirmizi, Ziqmin, Köki. Unbelievable. They have so many idols because all of them issues laws in the name of God. When in their books, from their mouth, boom, it is equal to the verses of the Quran. In fact, abrogates. Now, this sister, I challenge her to a discussion. If you really trust God, if she, did I say he? I'm sorry. English is my fifth language, therefore, sometimes when I'm very tired today, I'm very tired, I can confuse he with she. But I meant she. If she is honest and about trusting God, oh, here it is. I dare her. Come face to face, let's discuss what the Sunnah in Muhammad just you inserted. That is not trusting God. That is in fact disobeying God, declaring war against God. You are following a religion, my sister, without questioning the sources of that religion. You just trust Ibn Falan and Abu Falan, like Christians trust Saint Paul or this church, that church, this saint, that saint. You are no different. Just you have different idols. You have a different language. You have a different country. But your theology is the same. You follow the religions of your parents without questioning. If you start questioning Hadith and Sunnah, they fall apart. They fall apart. They are full of lies and insult to Prophet Muhammad. Let me show you some, my sister. Okay, I challenge you for a debate. Please contact me. Let's have a decent debate. If you want moderators, moderated, absolutely, let's moderate. Here it is. I have a Quranic Reformist Translation as a free. You can get it from anywhere. 19.org, you can see. Is a book you can get from Amazon. I do not make money as a royalty from my books on religion, neither Turkish and English. And this is Quran, a Reformist Translation. And you can find PDF freely available. And also Manifesto for Islamic Reform. It is available both online and also as PDF at 19.org. This one. Okay, now let's see. Let's see what the Sunna is. According to very Hadith books that she is following, inviting people to follow, most of the residents of hell, dwellers of hell, are women. According to the Hadith, Sahih Hadith, in her Sunna book, and if a dog, a donkey, a pig, and a woman passes in front of the prayer, a person who prays, the prayer is nullified. The prayer is nullified. Can you imagine? Dog is not in a good shape in Hadith books. Those who fabricated Hadith, some of them had a lot of hatred towards dogs, hostility towards dogs, especially Abu Huraira, one of the biggest liars in history. And in fact, Abu Abbas, someone says that Abu Huraira had problem with one of the dogs, therefore he kind of made up a hadith to penalize those dogs, but not these dogs. There are two kind of dogs in the city or in the farm, that kind of things. Anyway, and therefore dog, pig, of course, is not in a good shape, should not be eaten, and it is dirty animal. Donkey is an example, given example for stupidity, and woman is mentioned in that category, according to Hadith. According to this very Hadith book, Prophet Muhammad is a sexual maniac, is a pedophile. In one way, they exalt Muhammad to the level of God. In his name, they create prohibitions and religious duties. And in fact, in his name, they abrogate verses of the Quran. And they put him in competition with God, debating with God, or bargaining with God in the story of Mi'raj about the number of prayers in a day. Supposedly he negotiates with God to reduce the number of prayers from 40 to 5 on our behalf. He's a union leader, but not very smart, because each time he's going to seventh heaven with God, bargaining, but coming down from 40 to 30, and Moses is there in sixth heaven, says, Muhammad, this is the longest hadith in Bukhari. Hey Muhammad, how many prayers? 40. Nope, go up, go bargain, it's too many. 40 prayers. 40 prayers. Was it 50 prayers or 40 prayers? Now I started doubting about that. My gosh, I'm going to lose my mind. 40 prayers a day. Let's see how many minutes, how many prayers per minute. Let's say how many minutes in a day. 60 minutes in an hour, and times in a day 24 hours, correct? 40 minutes. 40 minutes divide by 40. 36. I think divide by 50. That's 2. Divide by 50. I think it was 50 prayer, yes. Yes, 50 prayer. I made calculations. Every 28 minutes, one prayer. 24 hours. You are not sleeping, you are not doing anything. God orders Muhammad and his ummah to have 50 prayers a day, not 40. I am correcting it because today I'm very tired. Sleepless last night, and today I had long day. Yes, it was 50 prayers. 50 prayers a day, not units. Don't confuse it. 50 times of prayer a day. 50 times. Means, according to them, every 24 hours, if someone prayers 24 hours, every 28 minutes, one. If it is, let's say, works and sleeps 12 hours, the other 12 hours dedicate for prayers, whatever it means, prayers, rituals. Then it will become 14 minutes. Every 14 minutes, one time enters. Very interesting. What an unbelievable, miserable life. That will not be prayer or commemorating God. It will become a stupid robot. Imagine, every 14 minutes, like this. And according to them, God ordered Muhammad this. God did not, according to them, God violated his own promise. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. God does not burden a person beyond his capacity. Well, do you have capacity? 50 times prayer a day? Well, Muhammad couldn't get it, and God did not really care. Muhammad went down 6th heaven. Moses, thank God, Moses stops him. Moses is a thinking guy, can do simple math. And then he divides number of minutes per day. Well, doesn't need to do the calculation like I did. It is of physiology. Everyone knows 50 times a day. They didn't have even these digital watches that time or clock. They look at even by looking at the sun, they wouldn't be able to distinguish 14-minute increments. Stupid. They insult God. They also accuse God of of violating his own. This doesn't make good view. I'm going to take my shirt down. God violates his own promise that he will not burden us beyond our capacity. And Muhammad could not understand simple fact that no one could perform such prayers. And it wouldn't be any prayer, it will be chore. A burden, torturous chore. Punishment. And Moses, thank God, Moses in 6th heaven says, no, Muhammad, I'm very smart. Your people cannot do this. Really? Okay. Go up and bargain with God. Muhammad goes up and comes down, not very successful, to 40. Moses is in 6th heaven. He's the king of bargain. Perfect Jewish character. Now I can tell which rabbi, what kind of religious leader fabricated this. A rabbi, perfect. Good calculation. It reminds me of car sales. When you go to buy a new car, the salesperson goes backward forward to the manager. Supposedly, he's bargaining with the manager on your behalf. They created such a game. He's a good police, but manager is the bad police. God, in this case, is bad one. And Muhammad is the one who goes on your behalf. But Moses is really the one really over there cares about people. Without Moses, these Sunnis and Shiites, they will end up with 50 times prayer a day. And then, this is the longest hadith. Whoever idiot fabricated this repeats the same thing, and ignorant people, they like repetition. Like children. They like repetition, okay? The result is obvious from that repetition. Like Hallmark's movies. Of course, goes up and down. And then the moment he comes to 40, the next move, you know, it will go down to 30. It's a so predictable, stupid story. There's no plot, no really, you know, you make up a story and put a little bit of plot, a little bit sign of intelligent life. No, there is no. It is an idiotic story, insulting God, insulting Muhammad's intelligence, And meanwhile, praising Moses, but praising to the level of elementary school kid. Anyway, and then Muhammad goes up and down. And let me repeat the same thing. It is fun. And then says, it is 30. Moses says, nope. Your people cannot even endure these 30 prayers a day. Go up. Bargain. Muhammad goes up again, comes down. This time, Moses asks, it is 20. Look at this game. This is in Bukhari. This lady says, Sunnah, is trusting God with so much kind of knowledge. Looks like she knows so much. And this is one of the stories. This is the most benign story. Listen to me. There are incredible, bloody, murderous stories, like stoning to death, like splitting a woman in half on 2 horses or 2 camels because she criticized Muhammad. This is the Sunnah she is following. She asks people to follow. Cognitive dissonance. Anyway, comes down to 5. Moses says, your people cannot do even 5. Muhammad says, I am just embarrassed. I am shy to go back again. And of course, he says, Moses is our hero. And Muhammad the second hero. God, my God, save us from God. Therefore, Sunnis and Shiites do not really believe God is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. They utter it with their mouth, but absolutely they don't believe that. They don't believe that God is merciful. They believe Muhammad is more merciful than God. So they ask help from Muhammad to save them from God. But the Quran says the opposite. فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Because mercy from your Lord, compassion, love from your Lord, that you were nice, kind towards them. And let's see the list. This is the list of her Sunnah. I want to read this one. I may read. This is the list, comparing Quranic verses with ISIS and Sunni religion teaching. Okay. Adulterers are killed by stoning to death. It's not in the Quran, but according to Sunni religion, yes. According to ISIS, yes. Slavery and having sex slaves is permitted. They call jariyah. And some verses of the Quran they mistranslate like مَا مَلَكَتْ إِيمَانُكُمْ. It is about contractual duties that you have towards مَا مَلَكَتْ إِيمَانُكُمْ. It is not hands. Iman always in the Quran is used for words, for promises, for contracts. Has nothing to do with your hands possess. And there is no slavery. According to the Quran, slavery is the biggest crime against God and humanity, because it is shirk. Because if slave owner is called Rab, Lord, and the slave is called Abd, according to Quran, only one Rab. Arbabun ma'allah, the Quran says. Rhetorical question, and rejects any other Rab besides God. And it was Pharaoh who claimed, Ana Rabbukum al-A'la, I am your Lord. And you are my Abd. If a Muslim claims to have an Abd, if become a slave owner, he claims to be Rab. In Arabic it's called is Lord. Like Pharaoh, he claims to be like a Pharaoh. Like Pharaoh, he claims to be the Lord of a human being, and he declares a human being his own Abd, his own servant and slave. That's absolutely the biggest crime. It's not a sin, simple sin. It is the biggest, is shirk. Is misdeclaring to be God besides God. Because only the creator of a human being, we can submit, you become the Abd for our creator. That's it. Muhammad, if he was alive now, we wouldn't become his Abd. We would become his friend. Sahaba, ashab. Relationship was egalitarian relationship. Muhammad was, the Quran says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. They say, I said a Turkish word meanwhile. I talked so much Turkish with Turkish people. say, I am a human being like you. يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. It is revealed to me that you have only one ilah. Not me, only one. Therefore, I am a human being like you. Don't make me an ilah. But Sunnis and Shiites, they worship Muhammad. In fact, in Masajid, next to name of God, they put Muhammad's name. Even in Shahada, in opposition to the Quran, in opposition to the 30 verses of the Quran, they add Muhammad's name next to God. In fact, there is Shahada, specific Shahada in the Quran in chapter 3, verse 18. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو الملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط. That verse says it is the Shahada testimony of God and the angels and the people who are given knowledge. Their testimony is La ilaha illahu, La ilaha illallah throughout the Quran. Nowhere Muhammad's name is attached, or Jesus or Moses' name, because it is about oneness of God. When you talk about oneness of God, you don't add the second any other name. The moment you add it, you have some problem in your heart regarding monotheism. In fact, the Quran diagnoses that problem in chapter 39, verse 45. وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ اشْمَأَزَّتْ قُلُوبُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. When God alone is mentioned, those who do not trust in hereafter, they are not happy with it. They don't like it. وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِهِ, other than God, like Jesus, like Muhammad, like Ali, like Moses, or any other idols. Of course, they don't call it idols. They say, they are not idols, they are prophets, they are saints. But they idolize them by this kind of ways, by this distortion. And says, when other than God, it doesn't say idols. They say idols means like rocks. No. The Quran is very clear. Min dunihi, other than God. When other than God mentioned, they are happy with. Exactly. Say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you see they will not be happy. They say, what about Muhammad Rasulullah? Tasniyah, the second. Not monotheism, not tawheed. Tawheed means oneness of God. In 30 verses throughout the Quran, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illahu. No, they say God forgot. This is most important statement of testimony in Islam. God forgot. Like Christian says, God forgot in Old Testament and New Testament to say Trinity. We put it 325 years after Jesus. They fabricated the word Trinity. And it became their flag, number one. And the same Shahadatain, Allah and Muhammad next to. In this one, they violate many verses of the Quran. Like they ignore these 30 verses. They ignore the verse 3, chapter 18. They ignore, they are exposed by verse 39, 45. And they are exposed much openly in verse 663, 1. I want you to go be curious, go read that one. Who is the one feel kind of compelled to say, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah? See what kind of person it is. It's not a coincidence. God knew. In the past, for God there is no past. But in our past, God knew that after Muhammad, they will idolize Muhammad. And therefore, in fact, the Sunni people, they call Muhammad what? Habibullah. In Turkish, if you look at the translations of the Quran, tafsir of the Quran, the most repeated word is Habibi, Habibi, Habibi. My love, my love, my love, my love, my lover, my lover. They repeat that exactly, lover, Habibi. But nowhere in the Quran you see that word is used for Prophet Muhammad. Christians, they say Lord for Jesus, or the Son of God. They say the lover of God for Muhammad. Son of God, lover of God. Both of them fabricated lies in order to deify them. Therefore, they're polytheists. Christians, polytheists. Most of the Christians, most of the Sunnis and Shiites Christians. Well, in fact, all of them are polytheists. Among some are not calling themselves even Christian, like Unitarian Universalists. They are monotheists. Newton was monotheist, by the way. Even Jefferson was a monotheist, thank God. They rejected Trinity. But the Sunni and Shiite polytheists, they see the trouble in Christianity, like Zakir Naik criticizes it very well, but doesn't look at the mirror. Hello, you are worse than them. You fabricated worse lies attributed to Prophet Muhammad. At least Christians did not fabricate lie, Jesus stoning people to death. You fabricate that lie. Christians didn't fabricate lie, making Jesus marrying a girl 6 years old and ending up in bed in 9 years old, while she was 9 years old, while Jesus was 54 years old. They didn't make up this story. You did it. Therefore, you are worse, the enemy of messenger and message, but you don't look at yourself. Oh, you say, don't make the picture of the Prophet Muhammad, I'm going to kill you. You don't care about other messengers. What about them? The statues and the pictures of Jesus everywhere. According to Quran, he is the messenger of God. His mother's name is the given name, chapter 19, Maryam. Jesus is one of the greatest messenger of God, prophet of God, Kalimatullah. Correct? And God says in the Quran, believers says, believers is the wrong word. Those rational monotheists say, لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. We do not make any distinction among God's messengers. Well, you make it. You always pick Muhammad. How many times you said, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن موسى رسول الله وأشهد أن عيسى رسول الله وأشهد أن يعقوب رسول الله وأشهد أن صالح رسول الله? Never. You may say after this one in order to justify your idol worship. I know that. You may start saying once a while in order to make up a response, but so far you don't. Okay, today's Sunni religion is the enemy of Islam, is the enemy of Prophet Muhammad. Their book of Sunna and Hadith and Mazahib are made up, contradictory stories, obligations, prohibitions. My God, Bukhari is what a trouble. Once I look at the word aql in the Bukhari, in fact, I have video about that. Please listen my video about this video. I will put some links under this video in the information section. Edip Yuksel, ISIS. Just type, you see an interview here.
Edip, for this opportunity. I'm aware of some of your work. I know you've written over 30 books about Islamic reform and the Islam Christians.
Was making up hadith. But listen, if someone is
Okay.
That's Sunni and Shia Islam, that's what
able to understand the Quran.
Okay, here it is. Edip Yuksel, ISIS follows Sunni religion. Please, anyway, you may. Okay, let's come here. I'm going to finish up this one. Slavery. The heads of prisoners of war are chopped according to Sunni religion and ISIS. And Shiite is now not much different than Sunni. In most cases, they are the same. In triviality, they differ. But in the worst case scenarios, they are the same. Apostate and heretics are killed according to Sunni religion and ISIS. ISIS follow the Hadith. They practice it. Insulting Prophet Muhammad is punished according to Quran. No. For example, check verse 440. It's perfect freedom. If someone insult, make mockery of your religion and Prophet and God, says leave their presence. Stop debating with them and leave. And then go back when they are not making mockery of it. That's it. When they are insulting, making mockery, leave, because they are not in the mode of discussing issues rationally based on evidence. They are making fun of it. Leave them. Don't fight with them, don't yell at them. It doesn't say yell at them, fight and bite, or kick, or kill, stab. No. Say peace and leave them. And then when they come to their reason, go back, still continue your relationship. That's simple. But now, they go crazy. Not crazy. Crazy people do not go kill people. They go become barbarians. Worse than animals. Animals do not go killing spree because other animals believe something different. Okay. Women and children may be killed in war. A 50-year-old man marrying with a 9-year-old girl is okay. According to the story, 6-year-old Aisha Hasha, and I have a beautiful article checking that story in 19.org about Aisha's age. Even studying those books through the contradiction, you find that she's about 29, 30 years old. That's it. But they make it 6, 9 years old in order to justify pedophilia. In order to justify sultans killing people, massacring people, they made up the story of Bani Qurayza, that Muhammad supposedly killed 600 or 800 Jewish people, massacring them. According to Quran, you cannot kill captives. You can only kill a human being when they are attacking, they're trying to kill you. That's it. That's the only way it's justified. Even in capital punishment is allowed because someone killed another person, but that is limited through the law of, it's called qisas, means equality, and there must be some equation to fit, otherwise you cannot even give capital punishment. It's reduced more than 50%. Even in cases that they get capital punishment, the Quran recommends the victim side to forgive the person, safe from capital punishment. The rule is in the Quran not to have capital punishment, but they turn things around. Anyway, this is too long, but I challenge Sunni, those who defend Sunni religion, I challenge you for a debate. Please share this video with them, or my video about ISIS with Ruda, interview and other English. My English videos are in letter E in parentheses after my name. And challenge your scholars if they are talking about Quran and Sunnah, and if they have promote Hadith, please challenge them. I am ready to debate with them, expose their lies and distortions. And this is a very long list. And as a last thing, the word Hadith in the Quran is when it is mentioned for other than the Quran, it is almost always it is negative. Hadith in yuftara, lahu al-hadith. It is in negative, means fabricated hadith or empty words. And the word also sunnah, always for God. Sunnatullah, sunnatullah, sunnatullah. And the word ijma, whenever the word used jama'a for other than God, God is the one jami' liyawmin la rayba fi, in the day of judgment. God is the jami' of the Quran, editor of the Quran, but when it is used for humans, jama'u amrahum, it is negative. And the word aql, check in Bukhari. In the Quran, 49 places, it's about reasoning. In Allah yaj'alullah rich, yaj'alullahu rissa ala alladhi yaj'alullahu rissa in Allah yaj'al, no. That verse somehow I forgot. Let me see. Yaj'alullahu rissa ala alladhina la ya'qilun, something like that. Anyway, paraphrase the verse. God is those who do not reason. God commits them to misery and problems. Okay, and therefore the word aql is in Bukhari is used very interesting in different ways. It is mentioned 180 times in Bukhari, but in only few cases about reasoning. In most cases, it is about diya is about blood money. In some cases, about tying something to camel's rope to the wall or something like that. But in most cases, it's not about reasoning. In few cases, when it's about reasoning, it is about to bash women, to put them down. That for women, the Bukhari says, ناقصات الدين والعقل. The women have the shortage of deen, religion, and reason. That's so incredible. Anyway, and you don't find chapters about shirk in the Bukhari. The Quran is the most emphasized crime because it is the one that turned normal human beings to idiots, to robots, to zombies, to killers, murderers. Because when they subjugate themselves, their will, to another human being, like clergyman or politician, that is shirk. Shirk is the source of biggest crimes throughout history. Wars and crimes is committed because of shirk. Assalamu alaikum, peace.